I'm not going to put on any more expectations on myself than I already have. It's more of what's the expectations that society places on us. Christmas should feel like this. Thanksgiving should look like this. Thanksgiving should feel like this. And it shouldn't. It should feel the way you feel.
The most grateful people are the happiest people just by being grateful. And it doesn't mean that they have a lot, but it just means that they're grateful for what they have. It's all about like that mindset.
When people say should, and I go, don't should on yourself. Should's a blame word. Everybody goes, well, you should and you should. Should what? According to who? Should what? I should what? We all know what we should do. I don't have to. If that's your should, but don't should on me.
Seriously, when November hit, this is the first thing I said. No. No-vember. It is No-vember. Say no to those things that you've always wanted to say no to.
I think all that preparation is so stressful. Maybe this is going to be my first November. This is what we're doing, and that's it.
Woo.
All right. So today we are on episode 22.
22. I'm feeling 22.
Yeah.
I'm looking 82.
Oh my gosh. No. So today, since it's November, we decided to kind of almost feed off of last week's episode, which was with Catherine, the amazing from WeVenture, executive director from WeVenture. She talked a lot about, business and burnouts and the myth of work-life balance. But what about the holidays coming up and how we are with family and how we put more pressure on ourselves, not only as therapists, but as moms, as dads, as business owners, all of it. We just put more and more pressure. So we need to have this episode kind of talk about and get a little unhinged about the expectations we're not only putting on ourselves, but what people put on us.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a great topic to dive into.
What do you think about, TJ? Like the second that November hits, where does your mind go?
Okay, seriously, when November hit, this is the first thing I said. No. No-vember. It is No-vember. Say no to those things that you've always wanted to say no to.
It's fantastic.
That is the best thing ever. I'm going to literally have that for the rest of my life.
That is it.
No to November.
No to November.
That's right. If they ask you to go somewhere and you really don't want to go, no. Why are you saying no? Because it's November.
Yes. And where does that come from for you?
It comes from all the other months. Okay, so this is November, so it's the 11th month. Mm-hmm. So the other 10 months where you've always said yes to stuff, it's time to say no for the next 2 months, November and December.
I like it.
And, and I know that, that's like comical, but it's true. It really, it's
actually really more true than anything.
Yeah.
It really helps you to sit back and just think about and reflect on the last 10 months. And it's like, okay, what were some things that I felt that I could have pushed off my plate, but I didn't? Mm-hmm. How am I going to end these last 2 months of the year and then start off strong for January so that I won't be saying yes to the things that I really want to say no to? And it's not being mean. It's just, resetting. It's time to reset. Right?
Those
reset
boundaries too, like adhering to those boundaries too.
Right. And some of the boundaries I've actually violated myself. So
you violated.
or have allowed other people to
pull back that glitter curtain.
Yeah, but I'm pulling back the glitter curtain. Because I realize now all that glitter this year was not gold.
Yeah.
But we made it though.
Yes.
We made it.
Oh my God.
Y'all, she started well before the camera went on.
I'm like, pumped today. Y'all better catch up. Get on the board.
That daylight savings is.
Yeah.
No, but you did. Now we got to go metaphorically now that we're English teachers. But our lovely intern would love this because she would really like to. She feels so bland on her chart notes. She wants to add some because Lindsay is a English teacher. So it's just so funny. But you said something about we're going to take it off our plate, and really right there I go. And then look at November, Thanksgiving, and everybody goes, oh, I'm eating more, and we have this plate and they're like, oh, I could use a little more. Next thing, what is it? The China, paper plates falling on the ground. And because it's like we grind. And then we have all these expectations of this and that and everything else. And then we're like, oh my God, I don't even have a plate anymore.
Right.
And, and so it was great because you go take it off my plate. And I'm like,
oh.
And all we do is pile it back on.
That is a good metaphor there.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
So
You
That
open
is
this
right.
all up, Miss Noah.
I know. Well, so what do you think about too when like November hits? Like I feel like everyone has like something that hits them in November for some reason, or even October sometimes. What is it that comes to your mind, or like how does that make you feel?
You know what's funny is that Halloween, we just had Halloween.
Mhm.
And it's so fun because living beachside, it's like everybody does their decorations. So it's one of my favorite things now moving over here. We get in a little golf cart and we just love to see the decorations. And so I literally was driving to teach and I went down a street and I literally stopped and it was this last week. Halloween wasn't over. And I go, and they already had the green and the red wrapped on the pole. I was like, no, man, like we're not even out with the ghouls and the goblins yet.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then I feel bad for Thanksgiving because they're kind of the redheaded stepchild that gets missed because it's like we're green. But I just, it's funny. I kind of, I don't know. Like, I think I kind of dive into like a little Kate, like, I don't know how to explain it. I kind of get quiet, like, honestly, other than like stuff we do here and stuff we do there. But it's almost like, I try to go back to, this is just for our people. This is really to show and care, for the ones. And then I go, but we should be doing this all year long. Like, why does everybody gear up? And I'm like, but if you can behave, psychology, if you can behave this way here, then do it in March.
Yeah.
Do it in January. Do it in July.
Like that thankfulness, the gratitude, and the giving, right? Why are we doing it just
to like put on show?
November,
because
December?
Is it real or is it just expected?
That is such a good point because I think about like, growing up and, and the expectation people put on Christmas and in November and put it on like their parents or their siblings and gifts and all this stuff. And I think all that preparation is so stressful. And I think that each year for me, it's been like different when it comes to normally. Maybe this is going to be my first November because normally when November hits, I'm like, okay, shopping. What do I got to give to everybody? How am I going to do Thanksgiving dinner? And what special treat am I going to make? My uncle or my cousin will really like me to make this year because I love my cooking. Let me make this. And I start immediately thinking about everybody else. Immediately, like kids, everybody, how am I going to make this beautiful? What decorations can I get to make the home feel good? And this is the first year that November hit. I took away all my Halloween stuff in the house. And I do the Halloween for me because I do like Halloween decorations. But I took it all away. And I said, okay, I got to think. I don't have any November decorations because when we moved last year. And I'm like, why? Why am I doing my November decoration? Why? Why do I have to do November now and that? Like, I have done enough all year round. But why do I still feel in my heart, I'm like, man, I'm a bad mom or I'm not going to be a good host because I don't have all this decor out and I don't have this whole grand Thanksgiving, planned out. And so like this year is the first year that I was like, what do we want to do?
Absolutely.
Talk to my husband. What do we want to do?
Ooh,
well, we want to
good.
spend time with our kids if they want to because they're all adults now. Like we gave them all the choice. We're going to get a cabin. We've never done it. And we're going to just do turkey and whatever we can do there.
Right.
You're all invited. They all happen to want to come.
Good.
But we're like, hey, like, this is what we're doing. And that's it. And like, so I think this year is me the first year that I'm like, I'm just going to do what I want. I'm not going to focus on everybody else like anymore because you're right. January through November or October, it's about everybody else. So it's kind of like a good reflection for me. And when you open up with no November.
Girl, I've been saying we're done.
But why do we put this on ourselves? And I think it's our culture that I think puts it just so much.
But it's also, and it reminded me of something when you were talking about, what's going to be good for you all. I'm going to have family over for Thanksgiving this year. But, we always worry about, okay, is the house clean enough? Well, I'm not cooking, so I'm not worried about what's tasting good. But anyways, I'm like, is the house, good enough? Do we need to add stuff? Do we need to take stuff away? And it's like, no, all I care about is a clean kitchen and clean bathrooms. That's it. I'm not going to put on, any more expectations on myself than I already have. And so, I feel like you. It's like I always say, you're doing the cabin this year. So wherever you are, that's where your family is. You know what I mean? Like it's not in one spot. Like it doesn't have to be your house, or it doesn't have to be, wherever the Christmas tree is in your heart. So wherever you are, that's where you put the tree at, right?
Yep.
So I think it's more of what's the expectations that society places on us. Like Christmas should look like this. Christmas should feel like this. Thanksgiving should look like this. Thanksgiving should feel like this. And it shouldn't. It should feel the way you feel. You know what I mean?
And that home,
and the
family, the people that
absolutely
or even maybe not family, because I have friends that are like family that come over for Christmas. So it's like, having the people that you care about, that you love spending time with. And that's what it should be about.
With no expectations no
pressure.
Right. No pressure. No need to, make sure everybody's good. If you know me and I'm inviting you to my home, you should already feel welcome. I shouldn't have to go out of my way and go, are you good? Are you good? You need a cold drink? No, go get your cold drink.
Right.
You need more ice? No, the ice is in the freezer. We do that, though, because we don't want to appear like bad host or hostesses.
And then if you think about it, too, if we act like this, like we're going to burn ourselves out
the
entire year.
Real fast.
So we're already burnt out a lot of times because, as we talked with Catherine last week, I mean, one of the biggest things that people like fail at, like when it comes to like big careers and big businesses, is number one is burnout. And I felt that big time because obviously, I own a business and it's like, like that's the biggest thing. You have to check yourself and look at those expectations.
Yeah. So a couple things, and you're hitting some language. So I always say this in class, which is so funny because it gets our attention. When people say should, and I go, don't should on yourself. Don't should on anybody else. And they're looking at me like, I said it. Should. Should's a blame word. Everybody goes, well, you should and you should. Should what? According to who? Said what? Should what? I should what? We all know what we should do, and that's the thing. I don't have to. If that's your should, but don't should on me, because it's blame and then shame. And then we start to think, like you said, we're doing something wrong or we're not enough. And it's funny because, our demographics are a little bit different this year. Like we've got a grandbaby, and they're back, Zach's going to come in. So I really don't know what's going to happen. And they know like it's wide open.
Doors open.
The doors open. We live at the beach. I mean, we can go there. We can, have some crab legs, turkey, whatever y'all want. I don't care. But it's funny because I do like every Sunday morning, I'll try to do like I call them the the real Rob Dog reels that I send to the boys, just a little like catch up and everything else. And one of the ones I did last week was exactly what y'all were talking about. I said, some of the things I worked on with clients is I said, this is when I'm starting to like make decisions. And it goes, is it what I want to do? Or am I doing it because I feel I need to prove, or I feel I need to justify, or I don't want to hurt it, or is it external? Because that's where like, I think sometimes it's like, okay, are they going to be upset? Am I going to hurt their feelings? Are they going to speak ugly of me? And so that's what I said, we've really started focusing on, okay, but what do I want? What is good for me right now? And like you said, like we got to get quiet. I mean, and especially, we know, yes, we've had a lot of amazing things happen with the business, but there's just a lot of grind. And so we're tired. And, it's like, we're tired. Everybody's tired. I feel like everybody's just tired. And it's like, okay, but why create more stuff to then be tired, to then be worried about? So then you've got your family and friends over and you have no idea what they were wearing, what they ate.
You can't enjoy it.
There. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because you're so worried about
everybody else.
What do you want? And there's so many times I look at my people, I go, what do you want? And they go, I don't know. And I said, well, if you don't know, how can anybody else know? And so, that's the thing. They come to your house, they come to my house too. They know, y'all know where it is. House is yours. It's always going to be here. Like you got your family. You come to the house, your family. And so that's the thing. But I loved what both of y'all said, because it is. I think people just have this idea and this expectation of, well, they. And I'm like, who are they? They don't exist. It's an illusion.
Absolutely.
And everybody's out here trying to catch an illusion and are so frustrated because they can't get there because it's not real.
Yeah. And I think too, this time of year, like if we can like encourage people to like refocus on, what it means. And yes, you should do it all year long. We always talk about gratitude, right? And people focus a lot on gratitude during Thanksgiving. And I like that too. But like carrying that over each and every month and showing that there's so much research out there that shows like how the most grateful people are the happiest people just by being grateful. And it doesn't mean that they have a lot, but it just means that they're grateful for what they have. It's all about like that mindset.
Yeah, they're grateful in every season.
Yes.
Not just when things are going well for them,
Mm-hmm.
but they're grateful in every season. And that's true. We should always have a heart of gratitude every day.
And that actually, if we talk mental health, it decreases anxiety.
It really
Because
does.
anxiety is fear of the unknown.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. You're not worried about what you don't know or what you don't have because you're so thankful for what you do have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, and I go, it's that what if to the even if. What if? Even if somebody can't come, even if a car breaks down, even if the turkey burns.
Yeah.
We will figure it out.
Just eat around the burnt turkey.
Eat around the burnt turkey. Order some pizza.
I like the
Because
burnt
with me,
turkey.
it's all about, me too, I do.
Actually, I like the burnt
With
turkey.
me, it's all about connection, though. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It has to be about connection, connecting with family, friends, loved ones, those that,
Self.
Right, self connection,
Self.
and then you connect with others. That's what it's all about. It's not about who has, the biggest spread or the most money or the best gifts and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff is nice, but when we really know within our heart of hearts what it's all about, not just the holiday seasons, but every season, then I think that it does make us happy people. Reduce anxiety, lowers depression.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to tell everybody, as we come into the season is just taking a step back and see what it's really important to you right now and giving yourself a little bit of a break too. I love that we have a lot of, people take off at this time of year too. And it's like, yeah, I know people go away and they go on vacation and stuff like that. But like you said, kind of like be in your quiet. Like that's my plan. I want to be in my quiet in my cabin and nobody around me. And that's it. Like I can't wait for that. So, but yeah, so I think we should encourage everybody to like start taking care of themselves so they don't burn out and be grateful for what they have, the job that they have, the role that they have, the family and friends that are around them instead of the what's missing.
And can we sit right there for just a minute? Is that because, again, we have to look at society for what it is. A lot of people travel. A lot of people are in the service industry. A lot of people are going, like my sister works every Thanksgiving, and she enjoys doing it, but it is a long day. And just even to like, if you're at the airport and you're stuck there or God forbid something happens, these people aren't with their families either. They're working to serve you.
Very true.
Let's remember, we got to be kind to them, give them a little bit of grace.
Right.
Like,
I agree with that.
because
so true.
That's the thing. There's so many people that they gear up, and it's funny because I was talking to somebody and they go, oh yeah, y'all get to kind of slow down a little bit in the holidays. I go, mental health? I was like, oh, that's cute. I go, oh no, baby, we amp up. Everybody's got to deal with family. I said, we're here, I said, but there's a lot of people working. And so it's like, have some grace, be kind.
And there's a lot of hurting people too, because also around the holidays, you see more people who are grieving, and we just need to throw a little extra kindness their way too.
What people are going through. Like just when, people are missing somebody, maybe somebody passed that year, whatever it is.
Well, and even with that, it's like you said, we get so, some people get so geared up to like, oh, what can I do? What, and we have all these, but it also will exacerbate, I have nobody or I don't have money or, my child, or this, or they don't want to come to the cabin with us or they don't want to, you know what I mean? And so, and like I said, I think it's just, again, not that we've got the balance. What did she call it?
Equilibrium. Oh, I'm already on it.
Equilibrium.
You better set up your systems.
Yep.
Equilibrium.
Yes.
Thank you,
because that's the thing.
Yes.
Your equilibrium is different than yours, which is different than mine. And I may have a bigger capacity over here, whereas your bigger capacity is over here, but you're falling off here. And so it's like, come in with your strengths. Help them over here. Then build that connection. But with self, what do I want?
What systems would you like to put in place?
Exactly.
I did. I've been like feasting off that. Since
I know. It's so good. So
been sharing it with my clients too.
Yes. So if you're out there and you're listening, make sure you catch that. And then don't forget, you guys are free to email us any any questions, anything that you would like to, have on the show,
Be
or
a
if you want to be a
guest.
guest,
Bring
we've
us
been
down.
having
get
more
unhinged
guests.
with
Yeah.
us.
We
for
are
sure.
so
Yeah.
ready for it.
Yeah.
So, and soon, hopefully soon, we will have an even bigger podcast studio when we get out of our building. So that'll be nice.
We
So,
will. That's what we're
manifesting.
We're manifesting
We're
it.
Grateful for
on
what we
that.
have.
Declaring it.
Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
right.
Well,
So-
thanks for tuning in, and I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
Yes. Happy holidays.